Okay, welcome to the Way of Mastery. I'd like to take a second to just look around the room and make a little eye contact with the other aspects of yourself and check out how juicy and cute you are. It's just amazing how gorgeous I am and all the different forms I come in.
I look awesome.
I tell you, I look awesome. So take a breath. I'm going to do a little meditation, a little focusing in, and then we're going to dive into this and see what it is we need to remember tonight. Thanks for coming out to the Way of Mastery. Yeah, yes, yes, yes. First, anyone who truly enjoys the way of knowing, must make a decision. You must make a decision to accept the truth for yourself. You must accept the truth for yourself. And this is the truth you must accept for yourself. This is the truth that you don't have to believe, you don't have to accept, you don't have to welcome. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. Some of the ideas you may feel are quite startling. You are not asked to judge the ideas at all. You are not asked to judge the ideas at all. Their use will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. And this is the idea. You are one with your Creator now. You are one with your Creator now. You are one with love now. You are one with love right now. Right now, you are one with love. Right now, you are one with love now. You are one with your Creator right now, regardless of what you are feeling right now. You are one with your Creator right now, no matter what you're feeling right now. You choose to fulfill your purpose. I say you choose to fulfill your purpose. You choose to fulfill your purpose. You choose to fulfill your purpose by extending only the reflection of yourself. Extend only the reflection of yourself. Extend only the reflection of yourself. And you are but love. You are but love. That's all you are. You are but love. That's all you are. And you choose to fulfill your purpose by extending only the reflection of yourself. And you are love. Only love. Only love. You are love. Nothing but love. Only love. You are only love, and you deserve only love. You are one with your Creator right now. I am one with my Creator right now. We are one with our Creator right now. We are one with our Creator right now. Anyone who would enjoy the way of knowing must also look and embrace the very fact. Embrace the very fact that your attention is involved in the world of space and time. Your attention is involved in the world of space and time. Your attention is involved in the world of the body itself. But in the way of knowing, you see the world of space and time differently. It's time to see the world of space and time differently. See the world of space and time differently. The world is seen as something that seems external to your mind and not as something which has a power over the mind, or something to be feared, or that one must be conformed to. Rather, the things of space and time are seen and embraced as that which is given of the Creator to you, in order to be utilized as devices for assisting the self to extend love. It doesn't matter whether it's a pencil or a computer or a trip to your grocery store or a party in which you invite your friends to come and play. All things finally come to be seen as having only one purpose. Only one purpose, the extension of love, the extension of love. No matter what you're doing, it's another opportunity to extend love. Doesn't matter where you are, on a trip, at a grocery store, or a party in which you invite your friends to come and play. All things finally come to be seen as having only one purpose, the extension of love, the extension of love. Extend the love, extend the love, extend love, extend tonight with each other. We have only one purpose, and that's to get out of the way so that the love in us can extend to all of us. We have love for each other if we just get all of our fears and all of our past learnings and all of our lacks in our mind out of the way. It's time to let go of the blocks. Let's let go of the blocks. Let's let go of the blocks so we can show up rock. Without the block, we rock. We're going to be in the way of knowing tonight. And that's going to be on page 317. The way of knowing and the way of mastery. I love this title. Putting your purpose into practice. Putting your purpose into practice. Imagine a business person sitting down to negotiate the closing of a deal, who goes to that part of the mind that is sane and says, what price should I place upon this land that I'm about to sell to this other corporation? And while his accountants and realtors have been telling him that the property is worth $1 million, the guy goes within, and the only answer that's coming from within is ask only $250,000 and ask that another $300,000 be donated to such and such charity. Now, in your world, which is the world of insanity, the businessman would say, oh no, I can't do that. I can't listen to that voice. But in the way of knowing, in the way of enlightenment, the businessman smiles and says exactly what was received. When the shock on the other person's face settles down, they will be quite happy to know that they have saved a lot of money. For in their world, they think that the only way to have is to possess. But in the way of knowing and in the way of reality, the only way to have is to give. Now, you are like that businessman. You abide in the world in which the business of your reality is to extend only love. The business of your reality is to extend only love. Be you therefore not afraid of the world. Don't be afraid of the world, but when seen through the eyes of the enlightened soul that accepts its oneness with God, when the world, when seen through the eyes of the enlightened soul, now who would be the enlightened soul? The enlightened soul would be someone who has accepted their oneness with God. The world of space and time is perfectly benign and has no purpose whatsoever except to serve Christ, which is the true self, in the extension of love. So an enlightened soul has accepted their oneness with God. They're absolutely certain that there's nothing to be afraid of here, and that the only reason why I'm here is to extend love. So based on that definition, how many of us have achieved enlightenment? That you see the only basis of the world is just to extend love. That's it. That's all you think about all day. That's the first thing that hit you in the morning. Before you came in tonight, all you wanted to do was extend love. Well, that's why anyone who comes to answer only the voice of love miraculously finds that the universe comes to support that one in ways that the egoic mind could never understand. See, it's funny. It's like we're trying to understand how we can be supported by the universe in a really flowing, harmonious, easy way. But it already says to us that only the person that understands clearly that the only reason why they're here is to extend love, that's the person that receives support in a way that a person that's not doing that can't possibly understand. So miracles do occur as creation flows from a mind unencumbered with the pressures of trying to make life go the way it thinks it needs it to go. So miracles happen to the person who's not spending all day trying to make everything the way they think it should be. Healing comes to the person who's not spending all day trying to fit everything and everybody into their script.
Right.
That's the person who starts to experience miracles.
Right.
And here we begin to touch upon the essence of my teaching. I need do nothing. I need do nothing. I need do nothing. What the heck does that mean? This isn't a passive state. Sometimes people take the statement I need do nothing to mean that they just need to sit back and do nothing, but they're already doing that. You're doing nothing whenever you're not practicing the truth, no matter how busy you think you are. How do you know you're doing nothing? Because no matter how busy you are, you're still not completely satisfied, content, and happy. So therefore, if at the end of the day I'm not satisfied, I'm not happy, and I feel no fulfillment, and I feel no contentment, then no matter what I was doing today, I really didn't do anything. Because I'm not really accomplishing anything if I'm not accomplishing love. Wow, no wonder we're so tired. Then it goes on to say, I need to do nothing, so I'll just show up and follow my impulses and not think too deeply or wonder what I'm doing. I really don't need to do anything since none of it matters. That is not it at all. I say it again. That's not it at all. I need do nothing means quite actively to learn and master the art of you need to do nothing. To find that spaciousness within you in which you are willing to allow that voice within you that is eternally connected to your source to be the vehicle through which you receive your guidance in the pure recognition that you have no purpose save the extension of love. It is not your purpose to survive as a body, mind. It is not your purpose to survive as a body. It's not your purpose to survive. Most people are living from the survival level, the security level. All they do every morning is try to figure out how they're going to make it another day, and they make all their plans based on how they're going to make some money in order to be able to take care of themselves. The way of mastery is saying, actually, it's not your purpose when you're a conscious being to survive as a body mind, simply because if you're a conscious being, you know you survive your body anyway. So there's no need to put all your energy into making sure that your body survives, because you know you're more than a body when you're an awakened being. You know that you're more than a body when you're an awakened being. It is not your purpose to keep the same house that you've had for the last 20 years. It's not your purpose to be in relationship with this person. It's not it's not your purpose to be in relationship with this person or that person for the entirety of the life of the body mind. It is not your purpose to accomplish great things. It's not your purpose to be wealthy. It's not your purpose to do anything except to be the conduit to which love extends itself when you are a conscious being. So based on what was just said, how many of us are enlightened beings?
I got 5 minutes. 5 minutes a day.
So as you come truly to allow love to be your greatest beloved, that's interesting. Allow love to be your greatest beloved. As you allow love to be your greatest beloved. Allow love to be your greatest beloved. As you set aside all other idols, what is an idol? Anything other than love that you want to be your greatest beloved. That's your idol. Your idol is anything that you give your peace away if you don't have it. That's your idol. So it says, as you come truly to allow love to be your greatest beloved, as you set aside all other idols, which is what, whenever you see you reading The Way of Mastery and you see that little dash right between it, it's getting ready to give you the definition. For instance, it says, as you come truly to allow love to be your greatest beloved, as you set aside all of the idols, which is what? The need to hold on to the house, the need to have certain dollars in the bank, the need to have certain people in your life. What are your idols? The need to hold on to the house, the need to have certain... I was like going through a massive last few days has been like a trip. Because I got this notice on the door like last Friday or something about they were coming, they were like doing the whole floor, and they were going to do this fumigation thing. And they named about 100 things that needed to be done. Okay, I mean everything out the closet, everything out the floors, everything off the bathroom, to take the clothes out, put them in the, it's like everything I had procrastinated about for years. But I was telling myself I needed to do it, I really needed to do it, I really needed to do it, I really needed to do it, and I was procrastinating, and I wasn't doing it, but I really felt in my gut it needed to be done. I needed some space. I didn't have any more space. And when I saw that and thought about, I had lived there for 12 years, and I had a week, and tons of sessions, and other things, getting ready to go to Spain, and just a bunch of stuff to do right now, and plus going through one of the deepest inner transformations that I've gone through in my life. On top of that, then I had to worry about going through some drawers. Okay, so, and what happened was, as I was going through some things, some of the stuff, it was amazing how I would see a movie ticket for 1983 that I'd come up with a reason why I was to keep it. And I saw that I had emotional attachment to things that I didn't even, because I had this rule, you know, it's like, have you used it in the last 12 months? Or do you use it again? You know, little stuff, you know. And what I found out was that I hit a space in me that really felt like free. Like the more I let go of the free I felt. But I also saw my idols. I saw, it's like I was going through all of my idols. And then it says, as you come to see that all of that is part of the world of illusion, as you come to love, you will have come to love yourself. So I realized that my willingness to let go of anything that kept me from having a lot of space and peace, even though it was hell to go through all that stuff, it was an example of me loving myself, because I wanted more space for myself and more peace for myself. So for you are love and only love. I noticed that whenever you tell people that they're only love, it very rarely elicits a response. You know, it's like, think about it. It's when you say you are love, if I say you are rich, would be a response. But when you say you are love, do you know that one of the reasons why people don't get excited when you say you are love is because it's been through what they thought of as love, that they've experienced the greatest pain that they've ever gone through. It's love that seems like it's failed you. It's love that looks like it hasn't come through consistently. So to say we are love doesn't necessarily really turn us on, but on the other hand, that means our version of love is not turning us on. Our version of love let us down. What we think love is what's failed us. Love has never failed us. Our version of it will always fail us. So I'm open up in there for discussion, but I just want to get through some of this first. Then it says, as you come to love as your beloved more and more, you will discover that you are guided on a path of miracles in which more power seems to be getting extended through you, and you will begin to witness that the universe seems to. So this is the part that was the trip. You know, it's like when your higher self makes a decision and for you, and then you go into cooperation with the decision, it's going to happen. If you make a decision that your higher self doesn't agree on, it doesn't happen, and that's why it doesn't happen. It's like that marriage that we think is going to take place between us and someone else is really the marriage that takes place between us and our higher self. Right. We got to be in agreement with our higher self, in harmony with our higher self, and we're busy trying to be in harmony and agreement with people around us. So you will always begin to witness that the universe seems to support you more and more, but in ways that you could never have imagined. Out of that, you might indeed see the life of the body mind changing. The car you drive might change, the house you live in might change, the quality of the beings that come into your life might change, yet you will be unattached to these things, for you will not see them as ends in itself. Great! My God, I got that really cool car I've always wanted. Wonderful. Wow, this new house came on the market that I was able to get. Great. Wow, the love of my life just walked in. But guess what? I'm not attached to any of it, because my goal wasn't to have the love of my life. It wasn't to have the money. It wasn't to have the house. It wasn't to have the fame. It wasn't to have the fortune. My goal was to become a conduit of love, because what comes through me will have an effect on me, and I'll begin to see the miracles happen in my life that I've been dreaming about, because what I'm seeing as my beloved is love. Now, I'm glad all the rest of the stuff came, but it wasn't what I was focusing in on. It's interesting that sometimes we don't see how true that is just by observing our physical reality. We see people all seeking these things, including ourselves, and you don't see them completely satisfied and content. But see, my ego tells me I'm different, so I'm going to be happy if I get the house, if I get the car. Maybe somebody else wasn't, but if I had the money, or if I had Oprah money, I'd be happy. You know, no matter what anybody says, I'd know how to handle it. The Oprah money is not coming from Oprah wanting the money. The Oprah money is coming from Oprah, being Oprah, fulfilling her function, doing what she came here to do. Very seldom people who see money as the goal end up being successful at having it. Most people that you know that are rich, the materially rich, the material riches were a byproduct of some expression of their talent and creativity in something that they love. I don't know if you remember a show that used to come on 10 or 15 years ago called The Lifestyle of the Rich and Famous. Some people hated that show. I love that show. I never missed that show. Because I would always want to hear, they would always ask them what they did or how they came about it. And if it wasn't inherited, 90% of the people, the material wealth that they achieved came from them doing something they loved and not because they were looking to be materially wealthy. So it's much more important to make love your beloved, and if you make love your beloved, then everything else is thrown in. And that's what I'm trying to work on within myself. So it says, you will be unattached to these things, for you will not see them as ends in themselves, but merely as the proof that the great wisdom of love that underlies all things is connecting you to new forms, new contexts, because it knows that now it can flow through you more powerfully, more certainly, more maturely, and more wisely. So once love knows that it really can use you and you're not jabbing around, Raj, then all these other things are thrown in. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and everything else is added.
That's right.
What I used to do was seek the added.
Right.
And then pretend I wanted the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
You know, just be straight up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's like if I thought God, I used to treat God like a genie. It was like God was this gigantic genie that I just rubbed God's belly. And then God was supposed to give me the thing the toy that I made up that I wanted, which I call manifesting.
Right.
You know, so it was that the universe manifested. Only problem was I had the wisdom of a child doing it. So I would almost inevitably ask for too much. So any thoughts, any comments, any questions about what we've covered so far? Anyone? And it could be a comment or a question. Yeah, Chris.
Well, I think this reading is interesting because I was hanging out with a friend earlier and we were talking about this, and I was telling her that, you know, I have like this pull in me where like I get up a lot of times and I have this need to like want to accomplish things, to make an impact. And I was telling her that I think a lot of that is like ego driven because you know we are like love, and if I am like really love and if I really believe that, then I don't need to do anything. That'll come. I'll be led to do something. I don't have to like go and force it. You know, and so it's interesting that, you know, over here it says, it is not your purpose to accomplish great things. And I need to constantly remind myself of that because there's like this need in me that thinks that like I have to go out there and accomplish great things in order to be, you know, to be fulfilled or whatever.
Well, you brought up a great point. One of the things that's really interesting is people want to judge their spiritual progress by ego standards. It's like now I'm on a spiritual path, but I still want to judge my spiritual progress by how much money I have, by the relationship I have, by the job I have, by the career I have, by how much weight I've lost. Which is exactly what a person that's in their ego would be doing. So true spiritual progress has to do with how much you feel like you don't have to accomplish, you just have to be. And that you're willing to be that conduit for the extension of love. See, I'm judging my progress more now by how much inner peace I choose for myself than how much I have. You see what I'm saying? So so I'm agreeing with you. You're absolutely right. And also, the minute that you recognize the truth, then you feel better immediately. Yeah, that's how you can tell. You felt lighter. As soon as you told yourself the truth, you felt lighter. Yeah. But when you were telling yourself the lie, you felt more pressure. I got to get up and accomplish. Now, how do you know you're lying? Because I'm tired before I even get out the damn bed. And that's how I know I'm lying to myself, because of how I feel before I even get started. You like the Course of Miracles says, we get up in the morning with the goal of being right, even if we're wrong. You know, that's my goal today, to be right no matter what happens, to be right. So thank you. Anybody else got something they want to share? Yes.
I'll share. So I have a great story this weekend that is just about this. So I went with TJ up to the Black Hills of South Dakota to support the Lakota getting their land back from the Black Hills, from the government.
Mm-hmm.
And we went strictly with love. We didn't know what we were going to do or what was needed or anything else. We just went there to be love and to support this. And miracle after miracle kept happening all weekend long. And we just kept looking at each other going, what? How is this? And it was so great. And we just kept staying in love. And we still don't know why we were called to go there as far as what to do. But we do, at least I'll speak for me, I know that I was there just for love, just to be the love conduit for this situation and for these people. And
so what we just read was, if your purpose is the extension of love, you experience miracle after miracle.
Yeah.
So you just had an example of exactly what we were talking about. You, like you said, how did I know you were truly helpful? You didn't even know why you were there.
Yeah.
Right. It's the people who are sure why they're there that kind of makes me feel nervous. It's the people who have good intentions that they think they know what they're about to do. Those are the ones that scare me. Somebody that's going, I'm here, I don't know why in the hell, but I'm here for the Dakota. Yeah. Then the universe says, I've used you for love. Here's miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle.
That's great.
Great. That's great. Anybody else? Any question or comment?
I've been actually feeling better knowing that I'm not in love, because it was like, coming face to face with, hey, you're really not that loving, and that has been a relief for me.
Right. I mean, how can you get how can you get to LA unless you recognize you in Denver?
Right. Absolutely. So that's
absolutely.
been something kind of weird. I got this book. I haven't done this book yet, but I did order it from Tyler Cover.
All right.
Yes. I searched for it, and I was like, I can't find it. So they said they would order it for me from Tyler Cover, and they. Who wrote this book?
And you can get it. You can get it from Amazon. You can find it out when you get the book. I don't want to go a lot in it right now, but it's another channel book. You know what I'm saying? It's like spirit is. Well, that's a good example of what we're talking about. You're willing to be the conduit of love, then really higher consciousness can use you as a channel to reach us through. It's like, I don't know how to break it to you, but there are more of us outside the body than in the body. And the reason why we don't communicate with them is because we don't believe we can.
Right.
That's it. It's just that easy. What we've been taught has kept us from being in communication with all aspects of ourselves. And as you say you want to be a conduit of love, then love creates miracles for you. And you don't have to know what you're doing. You don't have to know, because you know your purpose now. My purpose is to extend love. That's why I'm here. So then it goes on to say, therefore, seek not to improve your life by adding even 1 cubit unto your stature, but rather seek to improve your life by realizing your nature as love. That's why relationships are a trip. Because relationships can either be something that you use to reinforce the idea that you're a fear, or something that you use to reinforce the idea that you're loved. And he says, well, how do you do that? How do you come to realize your nature is love? By recognizing that in each moment you're in the right place at the right time. So if I want to recognize that I'm loved, what I need to do is to realize that being here with you is me being at the right place in the right time. So the minute you wish you were somewhere else, you're getting out of love with this group. We're not good enough for you to love right now. So you need to be somewhere else. Okay? And you're innocent. But that's basically what it's telling us, is that you're in the right place at the right time in every moment. So it could also mean you could also add with the right person, with the right job, in the right circumstance all the time. Now, this is the moment in which love can be remembered. Of course, if I really accepted that I was in the right place at the right time with you right now, it was the best place for me to be, what could I feel but joyful to be with you?
Right.
So love would be realized in this moment if I accepted that that this is the best place I could be out of any place that I could be in the entire world. So this is the moment in which love can be remembered, can be restored, and therefore can be what? Extended. This is the moment in which you can decide to listen only to the voice within you that knows how to extend love. So this is another opportunity for me to decide that I'm only going to listen to the truth. That this is all I'm going to listen to. And it says, beloved friends, in the way of knowing, the illusion that there is something to seek vanishes. So another clue when I begin to wake up is I'm no longer seeking. the mind is liberated from the misperception that there's something wrong going on in the world. If the universe is a good universe, and if love is the foundation of everything, then regardless of what it looks like, the only thing that's happening in the world is some type of something that's happening for our own best interest, whether we realize it or not. And the key phrase to that is whether we realize it or not. So could something good be happening to you, but you don't realize it's good? Okay, why can't we look at that's what's happening in the world right now? That even though we might not always realize it's only good going down, that's the only thing that's happening is good. So the mind is so liberated that it knows as long as it chooses love, that means as long as it follows the mysterious quiet voice within its own heart. Now you're in a world that's teaching us to conform, and so now you're becoming a person who wants to follow your own guidance in your own heart. So don't be surprised if everybody don't like it. Because usually it means you're going to be doing something opposite to what the world teaches. Also, it says that choice is, he says, it follows as long as it follows the mysterious quiet voice within its own heart, that the choices it makes, the decisions it embraces, the actions it takes, and the thoughts that it thinks cannot help but serve in the further awakening of everyone and everything. So perfect is the love that embraces the whole of creation, God. So you got this, it's got explanation, you know what I'm saying? Explanation, God. Says the mind is so liberated that it knows as long as it chooses love. So the sign of having a liberated mind would be that you're only choosing love, and that you're no longer judging yourself by power, fame, money, and physical pleasure as far as your value is concerned. So you've heard me say to you many times that wherever you think and wherever you know a fearful thought, it can only mean that you're not thinking rightly. So how can I know immediately if my thought is wrong? I'm afraid.
Right.
It's that easy. Like people go, how can I tell when it's the difference between my ego, when I'm listening to my ego, or when I'm listening to the Holy Spirit? If you're afraid, you're listening to your ego. You're listening to your ego even if you're telling yourself the truth and you're afraid. So you could be telling yourself, I am loved, and be afraid, and you're still listening to your ego, because it's only your ego that would make you be afraid of being loved. So whatever your perception of love is of your ego. And if you feel fear with another person, then you got a distorted perception, and so you need to be clear that your perception is distorted, and you need to ask for another way to look at it. But you're not right. Okay, I can't be afraid and right. Deep. Okay. You mean if I see a bear coming toward me, that if I'm afraid, I'm wrong? Yes, you're still wrong. Yes, you're still wrong. Yeah. As a matter of fact, you could handle the bear better if you weren't afraid.
Right.
So your fear is just going to paralyze you, and the bear is just going to go yummy.
Yummy.
Me and the little cubs was praying just last night for a good buffet dinner. There haven't been much food around this bar. And now here you are, the answer to our prayer. That's what we feel about the turkey, you know, Thanksgiving.
Right.
The turkey not too happy about it. The turkey said, well, I must have been in my ego that day. And I'm saying, thank you, God. So it's all neutral, right? It's just the way we choose to see it. From the turkey's point of view, my God, you know what I'm saying? He needs to do the Course in Miracles for turkeys. But for us, then we going, oh my God, that's great. And then if you're a vegetarian, then you got another judgment. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, so, but it's all neutral. It's all neutral. You know, because I was, eating some sprouts just the other night. You know, the sprouts want to live too, just like the cow does.
That's right.
So all you vegetarians, it ain't like you eating dead food. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's a lie too, but that's different. It don't have a face. Don't say you never ate nothing with a face.
That was good.
I knew you'd get a gyroscope in your Sagittarius rising. Some jokes are tailored to certain signs. You have heard me say to you many times that wherever you know a fearful thought, it can only mean that you are not thinking rightly. That is, you are not thinking with the mind of God, which is the same as saying you're not thinking with the mind of love. So if $1 million were to come to you as Christ, and that simply means as the true self as God created you, that's all Christ means, your true self as you were created. If something comes to you as Christ, and you had if it came to you and it was $1 million, you would say, if you were a conscious being, you would say, this must be the perfect experience for me now. How can I extend love in this moment? Oh, the date I've always wanted showed up. I would say, this must be the perfect experience for me now. How can I extend love in this moment? Oh, I just got the perfect job that I've always wanted. I would say, this must be the perfect experience for me now. How can I extend love into this moment? Somebody just rear-ended me because they were texting. This must be the perfect experience for me now. How can I extend love in this moment? Oh my God, I have a bad cold. This must be the perfect experience for me now. How can I extend love in this moment? In other words, you would have the same response to every situation that came up if you were conscious. Wow. And if the next day your wallet is perfectly emptied, the enlightened mind of Christ says, being broke, this must be the perfect experience for me to be experiencing now. How can I extend love in this moment? So if any of you are dealing with any kind of challenges right now, let's say this together. This must be the perfect event for me to be experiencing now. How can I extend love in this moment? You just got to write an evaluation on your job. This must be the perfect event for me to be experiencing now. How can I experience love in this moment? Now, the day you remember to say that when something happens, especially that you don't like, you can safely assume you are becoming enlightened, because when people most likely will not say something like this is when they're upset. Right. As a matter of fact, you forget you ever heard it. So how can you tell if this is really becoming more of your viewpoint than a philosophy? How you handle things when you're upset. Because when you're upset is when you go to your default setting. You can say anything as long as everything is cool and we sit up here in this class and nothing's really bothering you. We can all be spiritual giants. But then if you were to walk out there and your car was gone, then would you say, this must be the perfect event for me to be experiencing now. How can I extend love in this moment, especially to the person who took the car? Then you know you're on the way to enlightenment.
Right.
Because it happened to me one time.
Several times.
You know, well, just once. Just once. Only had my car stolen once.
I remember twice. I remember twice.
No, I know how many times I lost my own car.
Once it was hysteria.
You know, but the thing that's interesting is that I was not supposed to do something that I was going to do in my car. And the Holy Spirit told me, you know, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And I was determined I was going to do it, but I needed my car to do it. So I got up the next morning to go get my car wasn't there.
Yeah.
Right. So now what I could have done was freaked out, which I did. See, I don't believe being in spiritual and being enlightened means that you be in denial about the things that you're feeling. I'm not one of those people who pretend that I'm happy when I'm not, or I'm positive when I'm not, because that's, to me, is not being authentic. You know, I'm going to tell the truth about my feelings because all of my feelings are innocent and all my feelings are neutral and none of my feelings are bad.
Right.
So I don't have to act like they're bad feelings that I'm having that I can't admit that I'm having. I'm only having two kinds of feelings. Love or call for love. That's the only kind of feelings I'm ever having, is love or call for love. So anyway, so when I get to the point that I can be as calm in my upset as I am when I think things are going fine for me, at that point I can safely assume I'm really beginning to change my mind.
Yeah.
But if I do lose it and I don't condemn myself for it, I'm still beginning to change my mind.
That's right.
Okay? And see, the problem with this kind of stuff is that with love, you can't lose. And see, the ego mind, the fearful mind, is always looking for where it can lose. It's listening to everything in terms of how this couldn't work, how it fails me, how you can't count. So there's some of us that when we listen to this stuff, all we're thinking about is how it can't work, or why it shouldn't. And then there are others that are listening to it and going, oh, I found it, I'm getting the solutions that I'm asking for to the questions I've been asking. Then the next level is what I apply to my day-to-day experience, because that's why it's there. As we heard earlier, when you become conscious, no matter what happens, then you're going to say, this must be the perfect event for me to be experiencing now. How can I extend love in this moment? So if a person walked out of the class tonight, didn't remember a doggone thing that was said other than this, and said, for a week, I'm going to see how many times I can say that for any situation that comes up, that would produce more transformation than trying to remember everything that I've said tonight and remember none of it.
Right.
Because that's what happens in classes like this. We hear it and we forget it. So it'd be better to take one thing that you go, okay, I'm going to walk out here tonight with as much as I can. I'm going to say, this must be the perfect experience for me now. How can I extend love in this moment? This must be the... So I want you to think of something that's upsetting you, or that you thought you got upset about earlier today, or in the last few days. Something that you were causing yourself some pain about. This must be the perfect experience for me now. How can I extend love in this moment? This must be the perfect experience for me now. How can I extend love in this moment? You just had a run-in with somebody and you're not feeling really good about them. Go, this must be the perfect experience for me now. How can I extend love in this moment? You got some unexpected news today that didn't particularly make you feel joyful. How can I extend love in this moment? And you put it in your own words. This must be the perfect experience. This must be the perfect experience for me now. How can I extend love in this moment? This must be the perfect experience for me now. How can I extend love in this moment? This must be the perfect experience for me now. This must be the perfect experience for me now. This must be the perfect experience for me now. How can I extend love in this moment? 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 Any questions, any comments about that?
How can I extend love in this moment?
I'm only upset because somebody's not acting out my script anyway. That's the only thing I'm ever upset about. If something's not acting out my script anyway. Isn't this a perfect place to learn how to not be upset about somebody not acting out your script? We couldn't have picked a better lab for learning spiritual lessons in, could we? We got the perfect situations that will allow us to be happy right now. Isn't that great? Every time you tell yourself a lie, it won't work. Every time you don't practice the truth, you won't get what you want. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's great. So how do I know I'm not practicing the truth? Well, I'm not experiencing peace. I don't care how much but I said the lesson. I know you said the lesson. That's a good start, because you have to say it and repeat it, right? And I tell you what, the more intense you are about the truth, the more your ego stuff is going to come up to be released anyway, which is good. That means you actually are changing. That means you actually are. See, to me, it's hard for me to believe that somebody's really getting this stuff if they're not going through some type of transformation and change and disorientation. How can you hear something completely opposite to everything you've been taught and not have some type of disorientation and confusion while you're dealing with it? You know, so either you haven't heard it or you're not really doing it, or it would bring up some type of emotional response. Whether it's an emotional response of you just feeling so joyful because of what you're hearing tonight, or it bringing up the emotional response of going, what the hell are you talking about? If you really hear what's being said for real, it should generate some type of emotional response. Unless you're just kind of like sitting here phoning it in. Right. And that's okay, because we do that all the time. You know, there's a part of us that doesn't want us to hear anything that we're saying right now. He says the world of form, whether it's dollars in the bank, houses, cars, people, friends, lovers, pets, plants, and all the rest, can never be the source of perfect freedom. Hello? The world of form, in the world of form, whether dollars in the bank, houses, cars, people, friends, lovers, pets, plants, plants, lovers, friends, people, cars, banks, houses, All the rest can never be the source of perfect freedom, 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 can never be the source of perfect freedom. These things arise and pass away. They are like ephemeral shadows, wisps of foam dancing in an ocean. When the mind becomes identified with the form, guess what? The mind suffers. So why is a person's mind suffering? Because they think they're a body. Suffering comes from believing that you are your body. Suffering comes from you believing that you are your body. Suffering comes from believing that you are your body. Suffering comes from believing you are your body. Suffering comes from believing that you are your body. Suffering comes from believing you are your body. Suffering comes from believing that you are your body. Suffering comes from, how do you get past that? You know, you see your body as a learning device and not you. If you see your body as a learning device, you'll stop suffering in your body. You suffer in your body because you think your body is you. The purpose of the body is to give a message to you. But if you think you're the body, then who's the body going to get a message to? The body giving the message to the body? So you are more than your body. Your body is trying to give you messages. Your body is your learning device. So when I look around the room, what I'm looking at is learning devices, not you. I'm not seeing any of you. I'm seeing your learning devices. And there have been times in my life that it was all about the learning device. I wanted a fine, luscious, juicy learning device. Anybody else?
Yeah.
You want one right now?
I'm a slow learner.
You're a Taurus. It's permitted. It's permitted. It's permitted. So what's the purpose of that? So at one point today, that's what I was doing. Every time I would see somebody, I would go, oh, there's a learning device. There are 3 learning devices over there talking. There are 4 learning devices. If you do that, it will give you a completely different relationship to your body that will trip you out. You'll begin to recognize that you're more than a body. You know, and also it'll put the body in perspective. Because if I say I'm looking at a learning device, then it immediately makes me more curious about the mind that's functioning through it. Which that should be the thing that I most want to know about, actually. So all of a sudden I realize when you're attracted to somebody just because you like their learning device, you have no idea what you're getting. Is that true? You actually don't have any idea what you're getting. But if you knew that person's mind, you would. That's why people get so disappointed when they talk to people. Because you were batting 1,000 because your learning device was exactly what they needed. You know what I'm saying? Then you open your mouth and all of a sudden they realize, oh my God, the mind is functioning through this learning device. Oh my goodness, that's what I'm going to have to deal with. Jesus. He says now, when the mind becomes identified with the form, what? That mind suffers. When the mind is liberated from attachment to form, what? It's free. Because if you walked the world and you weren't attached to anything in the world, you would be free. Because nothing could pull you out of your peace. You'd be okay if you had it, you'd be okay if you didn't have it. The paradox is that once you get to the point that it's okay that you have it and okay if you don't have it, all of it starts to show up.
Right.
Everything that I ever wanted started to show up when I started to focus on my spiritual awakening. But all the stuff that I was visualizing and focusing in on when I wanted it as a goal wasn't showing up. It wasn't until I no longer was attached to it, which is the same as saying releasing it, then it manifests, because everybody knows that things don't manifest until you release it. It's like that old time Polaroid camera back in the day where you took the picture and then you had to pull it out of the camera and it took 60 seconds before you could see it. You know what I'm talking about? But if you never pulled it out the camera, you never saw the picture. The same thing with us. Until we release what we're focusing in on, we never see it or experience it. How do you know you can't release it? You attach to whether or not it happens. So if you attach to whether or not it happens, that means you haven't released it yet. Hello, that's too easy. Let's forget that rapidly. Let's forget I ever said that. Okay, all right.
Can you repeat that again?
Yeah, if you have to release something in order for it to manifest, and you know you would be upset if it didn't happen, that means you're still attached to it, so you really haven't released it, and that's why you're not seeing it, because it's never been released. So when you study something like the Way of Mastering the Course in Miracles, that are really focusing you on your spiritual identity, then you actually, for that moment, you're releasing all of your attachment to those other things that you've been dreaming about. And all of a sudden you start seeing them show up. But what happens is that when it shows up, you may not accept it, because you become too awakened to sometimes want the things that you have asked for when you were unconscious.
Right.
So you have to release it in order for it to come to you.
Right, and how do you know you released it? Well, you are detached about whether or not you have it. You're not attached to it one way or another. So how do you keep from fooling yourself? I gotta have it. Whatever you go, I gotta have. That's the one you're leaving in the account. Okay. And if it's money, that's why they call it Polaroid. Okay.
Good try.
Well, I know. I told you I was a procrastinator. The Spirit said to me, "No, you're a procrastinator." I said, "Thank you." See, only Spirit would say something like that to me to get me to feel better about myself. So, no, Earl, you're a procrastinator. Okay, y'all ready to go further?
Yes.
Did y'all notice?
You know, Raj, that could be a good reality TV show.
What's that?
Procrastinator.
Yes.
I know. I was thinking about that. You know? It was a cooking show. It could be Procrastinator. But
And a medical show, Prostatinator? No, that's too assholes.
Prostatinator. We talking about prostate.
Oh, you know,
That's right.
get
You
your
get
finger
mad,
out
you
of
always
it.
see that prostate.
I had to go there.
That's all right. That's okay.
Adriana just uses the word
I
ass.
just want to see the men.
I know. Being in the male body is a very interesting thing to do. You ladies ought to try it sometimes.
I did have a question before you went on with that.
Go ahead.
So you were talking a little bit ago about, like, you know, if we're really into this, if we're really doing this, that we're gonna experience like upheaval and, like, you know, like.
Now what you notice?
Yeah, we're gonna experience upheaval and like, you know,
Disorientation.
Yeah, disorientation.
Confusion.
And so
Very high states.
And so like what's the spiritual way to look at it as far as like how long that takes?
Oh, well, how long it takes is how long it takes you to go ahead and do what you're being told to do. So if you really, the more you really accept that you want to find something where it's actually located, then the sooner you have it. So we're being told where our happiness is really located. We made up where we think our happiness is located. And so we're frustrated because we're still, in other words, if I'm looking for my car on the mall, I'm going to be frustrated. I don't care how much I would love my car to be on the mall. The car is out front. So this is telling us, well, your happiness is going to come from not being attached to all the things out there that you think you're trying to have. It's going to come from you wanting to be an extension of love and a conduit for spirit to come into the world. That once you actually make up your mind that you're here to be used by spirit for love and for truth, then you're going to start to experience everything that you've been trying to experience through coming up with your fantasy about what you think you want and how you're going to make your world conform to what you want through your own plan.
Right.
So an unconscious being is planning, a conscious being is receiving. So the more unconscious you are, the more you're figuring out and planning, and the more conscious you are, the more you're removing the blocks to being able to hear the guidance that you're already receiving all day long anyway, but you're not hearing it.
Right.
These books teach you how to tell the difference between the two voices, so you can tell when you're listening to your true guidance and when you're listening to your own ego that doesn't know anything.
Because I read a lot of these beautiful things, and like I've been reading these beautiful things for years, and sometimes I get frustrated, because I'm like, I am not there yet. And so a part of me thinks, well, I'm being given a time limit, and if there's only a certain time.
That's right. I'm sorry, brother. I meant to tell you, by 8:30, you done.
Yeah.
We're at the end of Chris' contract. The spirit just told me that if Chris don't get it by 8:30, it's all over for him. You know? So does that thought make you feel lighter or heavier? Thinking that,
Panicky.
okay, then you know it must be what? a lie.
Ego,
Right.
yeah.
It's really that simple. I really wish I could make it tougher. You know what? The challenge is that the reason why people don't like to hear stuff like that is a lot of people are depressed and unhappy all the time. So they don't really want to accept that they're wrong all day long, every day, 7 days a week. And that's what would have to be true if you're an unhappy person most of the time. You're just wrong in the way you think most of the time. But we want to believe we are right because we feel so bad.
Right.
You know, because of the emotions you're feeling. I couldn't be wrong and I'm feeling this bad, you know what I'm saying? And I saw him with another woman. That's the worst thing that could ever happen to you. Actually, the truth is, it's an experience that you should be saying, this is another opportunity for me to extend. My God, look at his tongue down her throat. That's the perfect experience. How can I extend love? You know what I'm saying? Well, you'll be glad for that to happen. Come on over. Oh, I'm so glad I don't talk like a holy person supposed to. Jesus Christ, it's too much. I have to watch. Like it's been so intense for me that I've been like, I'm serious. You know, so thank you for creating an opportunity for laughter to come through me and joy to come through me. Appreciate that. Wow, you're such a blessing in my life. Lord have mercy. All right, we doing good. Y'all ready to power through some more? Can you take it? How you doing? Are you all right? Everybody with me? Okay. In any given moment, you have the power within you to experience the reality of love that's unobstructed, unmediated now. Without the need of magical means, without the need for the universe to arrange itself in any certain way whatsoever. So how can I tell when I'm experiencing the reality of love? There is no need for you to arrange yourself to be any kind of way for me.
Right.
That's what the person is going to talk to you who really loves you. There's no need for you to arrange yourself in any kind of special way for me. Lord have mercy. I sure don't know what love is. There's some arrangements I like.
Yeah.
Don't y'all have some arrangements? All right, come on now. Okay, all right. So, no wonder the relationships run into challenges because there's not true love being expressed anyway. So that's good to know. It's not that love doesn't exist. I just haven't been doing it. That's better than thinking love doesn't exist. That's better than thinking I've been giving love and not been receiving it. I'd rather know maybe I haven't been doing it. Maybe I'm doing what the Course in Miracles calls a pleasant form of fear. And I'm calling it love. It's really just fear that I like. How do I know it's fear that I like? Because when I saw you talking to somebody else, I became afraid of loss. So what I'm feeling with you is fear that I like. I'm in fear with you.
Back those eyes.
We're having our fear anniversary, baby. It was 1 year ago that our fear first started.
That's right.
I'm telling you, I should go into the Valentine card business.
That's right. Fear mark.
You're the greatest fear I've ever had. How do I know? Because I'm behind the bushes watching your house.
And I'm checking your cell
That's right.
phone.
That's right. I've had relationships in my past where I was like, found myself, didn't even know how it happened. I was right in front of their house.
That's right.
Driving by.
Right.
I know none of you have ever done anything
Oh,
crazy.
no.
I love how I say stuff and people go, really? Really? You done something like that? Why do you think I'm on the spiritual path? I was a maniac. I was insane. I was crazy.
That's right.
That's why I'm on this path. You know. So how do you know you're in the reality of love? It's good when you read these things to flip back like that and go, how do I know I'm in the reality of love? Because I don't have any need for anything to rearrange itself for me to be happy. In any given condition, I have within myself the power to decide to literally feel and experience love. We could decide to feel love for each other right now. It's a decision, not a circumstance. Love or the experience of it is a decision. Most people are waiting for an event, and we're being told it's a choice. It's not you're going to be happy after you get that job. You're going to be happy when you decide to be happy.
That's right.
That's when you're going to be happy.
That's right.
It's not going to happen because of anything on the outer.
Right.
First you're going to go, I've decided to be happy today,
That's right.
and then you'll see life fill in the blanks
Yeah, that's the truth.
in a way that you'll really enjoy.
Yeah.
Why? How could you not enjoy a day that you're not trying to arrange everything in order for you to be happy? Then everything that happens will be great.
Exactly.
That's too easy. Forget it. Okay, y'all forget I said any of that, okay? I'm certain you will, won't you? I don't even remember coming to this class. So, it is not something earned. Love is not something earned. Love is not something earned. Love is not something earned. I'm not going to give you my love until you deserve it. Love is not something created. You're not going to create love, Raj. You're going to be a conduit for love to come through. You don't ever create love. We don't have the capacity to create love. We are love. We extend love. What's a word that could really blow our mind? Freedom. Love is freedom. Freedom. What's the last thing most people want to give in any relationship? Freedom. Fear-based love has nothing to do with freedom. Fear-based love doesn't have anything to do with freedom. Fear-based love is all about how much can I limit you for my personal uses. I don't want anybody else to use you but me. And I've said stuff like that. I got that look again. There y'all go again. Like, really? Never had that thought. And you're the teacher too. God.
Was that deer in the headlights?
Yeah, when you're afraid, you don't think you're secure unless it's all for you, all to yourself. That's a very natural reaction for a fear-based person. So you shouldn't feel bad about that. That's the way you do when you're afraid. So why should you be upset with yourself? I'm afraid, I'm jealous. I'm afraid, I'm jealous. I'm afraid, I'm jealous. They go together. It's no problem. Just know when you're with a fearful, insecure person, you're probably going to deal with some jealousy.
Yeah.
Because that's what goes with fear.
Right.
I think I can lose you, so I need to make sure I don't. And this is not just a person. It's my car, it's my money, it's my job, it's my clothes, it's everything. You know? I was picking up shirts that I hadn't worn and I don't know when. And it was like, but you might need that Obama t-shirt, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever, you know. This was just amazed me. Found some cartoons that I drew when I was 12. And I was pretty perverted.
So was I.
Well, it was cartoons of you. I'm sorry. I'm not going to get too serious. I don't care how much anybody needed. I'm just not going to do it. All right? I can tell when spirits come through and then I start sweating. I'm feeling the sweat come up. You get hot when your chakras start to get cranked up. Yeah, you start having hot flashes. You know, so women over 50 get automatically spiritual.
That's right.
They don't even realize how spiritual they become.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Menopausal.
That's right. My chakras, you know, and there's menopause too, you know.
That's right.
You know, we go through it too.
That's right.
It's for the first time we pause.
That's right.
That ain't nothing we usually do, you know what I mean? I think I better think about this. Oh my God, I'm going through menopause.
That's right. I'm standing still.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Do you know vision is being aware of the consequences of your actions before you take them? That's what vision is. It's knowing how it's going to turn out before you even do it. And if you get to a certain level of awareness and you also become aware of your own patterns, you start to go, oh my gosh, you know, here I go again. Here I go again. Now, how do I want to see it differently this time? It has nothing to do with the other person.
Right.
It's you knowing your own pattern and you looking at your own pattern. That means you're about to go past it. Let it go. When you recognize it, that's when you know you're getting there. If you don't recognize it, it's going to run you forever. But even if you can't stop when you first recognize it, at least you're beginning to recognize it. That's a good thing. So even if you're recognizing your patterns right now, but you haven't been able to stop your pattern, you have stopped your pattern. Because you recognized your pattern, which means you're just seeing your pattern fade away. Yes. Was that young lady, was that good? Was that, yeah. Was that the perfect experience for this moment? And how are you planning on extending love?
Yes, how do I plan on extending?
I know, you just can't wait to extend love, can you?
I can't.
No, that's the problem. I'm ready. No, Lord, all of y'all just won't extend love, don't you? You just can't, you just waiting for the person that's good enough. Is that a script? Is that your script?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going.
Let's go.
Love is not something earned, it is something created. It is that which is eternally present right now as the very identity of your being, the very life and existence of your being. Once I say to a beloved brother, merely stand with arms, check it out, outstretched. Stand with arms outstretched, or you can sit with arms outstretched, palms up. I can imagine somebody who came in for the first time. They'd be, oh, this is a cult. Where's the Kool-Aid? Okay, open the heart deeply and ask whatsoever you will, and it shall be given you. But ask as the awakened Christ. That means ask as the awakened love that you are. Asking from that place that knows only love is real. So ask for whatever you want, but ask from it from a place that you're saying to yourself, I know only love is real, and I ask for this. Now, how can I tell if I'm really in the right frame of mind to have what I'm asking for? I won't freak out if it looks like it didn't happen. I feel okay in the way it goes. Now I know I'm not attached. So I can ask for it because I know only love is what? Real. Therefore, take just a moment right now. Sit wherever you are with your arms outstretched, palms turned heavenward. Think about your own heart for just a moment and simply ask to feel and know the reality of love's presence. I ask to feel and know the reality of love's presence. I ask to feel and know the reality of love's presence. I ask to feel and know the reality of love's presence. I ask to feel and know the reality of love's presence. I ask to feel and know the reality of love's presence. I ask to feel and know the reality of love's presence. I ask to feel and know the reality of love's presence. I ask to feel and know the reality of love's presence. I ask to feel and know the reality of love's presence. I ask to feel and know the reality of love's presence. Breathe it into your heart. Open the cells of your body, your communication device, your learning device. Open the cells of your learning device. Open the cells of your learning device. Open your heart. 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 Open the cells of your body. Open your mind. Open your mind. Open the mind. Open the mind. Open the mind. And simply receive what is available. I 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 accept what is available. I accept what is available. I accept what is available. The Course teaches that to receive means to accept. So you say, I accept what is available. I accept what is available. I accept what is available. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Good. One more time. I accept what is available. 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 I receive 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 what is available right now. Why we put some funk in it, why we put some juice in it, so it just won't be an intellectual trip that we're doing up here.
Yeah, right on.
We got to get it in our body. Your body is your communication device. Your body is what you're perceiving the physical realm through. So you want to get it in your body so to be in your perception, because your body is your perception.
Right.
It's your body you're using to perceive. So if you don't ever get no juice in your body, it won't be no juice in your perception.
That's right.
This can't be just an intellectual trip. We got to let go of this idea that it's about intellectually understanding what we're reading tonight, and that's going to produce it. But you're dead from the neck down.
Right.
You need to let some that go down into that body.
Feel it.
Feel it. You need to feel it. If you don't feel it, then it's not a true desire. If you ask for stuff that you don't feel, then ask yourself if you really desire it. Now, if you think you did not get it, if you think you didn't get, so what? I sung it too, and I still don't feel no better. First I said it, and then you make me sing it. I don't want to sing it, but I sung it, and I still don't feel no better. If you think you didn't get it, you are simply fooling yourself. It requires only this. So, we're then going to give this as a meditation to do in the way of knowing. At least once a day, this is what you're going to do. At least once a day, you're going to rise from your chairs. You're going to stand with your arms outstretched and your palms up and simply say, I open and receive the reality of love for myself now. I open and receive the reality of love for myself now. I open and receive the reality of love for myself now. I open and receive the reality of love for myself now. I open and receive the reality of love for myself now. You see, self-love is the pathway to perfect peace. Self-love opens all the doors. Self-love dissolves every illusion. How many times are you focusing on loving somebody as opposed to saying, what I'm going to focus on is loving myself? We need some self-love. 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 Self-love will dissolve every illusion, and every illusion is a fear. So if I feel fear, I'm not loving myself. If I'm feeling fear, I'm not loving myself. Also, I'm not speaking of love for the illusions of the egoic mind with which you become identified. I'm not saying that you should say, I love myself because I now have X amount of dollars in the bank. I love myself because I have a wonderful husband, wife, or mate. I love myself because I have a great dog. No. I love myself.
Right.
I love myself.
Right.
I free myself. I free myself. I free myself. I free myself. The self that is beyond time is that self from which even the body has emerged. Your body came from somewhere. Your body came from yourself. So you want to love yourself that your body emerged from. Ooh. I love the self that my body came from. I love whatever it was that gave me this body, that this body came from. Wow. Whenever you're in doubt, that's the same as saying whenever your energy seems to have dropped.
Wow.
Try a dose of celebrating. A simple dose of celebrating that you're here in the perfect universe. Celebrate you're here in this perfect class and that you abide in love. The very fact that you have a body. The very fact that you have a body that has emerged out of consciousness in order to be used to extend only love is pretty miraculous. The fact that you have a body that seems to have come out of nowhere that's supposed to be used to bring you freedom and love, that's pretty cool. And you are free to celebrate that simple, essential truth in any moment. We can celebrate that right now. The fact that you have a body that emerged out of yourself for the purpose of extending freedom and love, then ask, who can I extend love to now? Who can I extend? Who can I extend love to now? Who can I extend love to now? Who can I extend love to now? Oh, great, thank you. I'm telling you. All right, give it up. Lord have mercy. I'll tell you, it's a rough job, but somebody got to do it. See, by asking you shall receive. You know what I mean? Sometimes it could be just that simple.
That's right.
You could just ask.
That's right.
You know, you can say, I don't have anything that's happening Saturday night. Is anybody in here that want to do something?
Right.
You know, it could be just that easy. But we believe that people should know through our psychic powers that somebody should want to spend time with me. it could be quicker to say, hey, I'm desperate for a date. I need somebody, please. I'll pay you. This is the perfect experience. How can I extend love now? That's right. How can I experience that? Who can I extend love now? How can I experience? Oh, that's interesting. Who can I extend love to now? How can I experience love now? Different question. Okay, who can I extend love now? But how should we extend love now? Well, the way we should extend love is the way that brings the least amount of fear and separation between us.
Wow. There's no limits, so that's what are we gonna do?
Damn! That's a miracle! I should ask that question a lot sooner. That's for that healing blue. I needed that. Oh, God.
You know that was coming.
See, that's how you know it's love. You didn't know.
You didn't know.
You didn't know. That's how I can trust it. You didn't know. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. You don't know when you're being used.
Right.
You know? Great. So it's all much simpler. It's all much.
I love being used.
I'm not being used enough.
Anytime you want.
Can I use you for love too? Oh, great, great, great. You can use me too.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know what happens with a car when you don't use it? It gets all rusted, don't work no more. That's why some of y'all can't hardly move. Okay. You're rusty. Don't be rusty. Don't be spiritually rusty. Keep your mind oiled. Keep your spirit lubricated. It's important. It's the truth. In the way of knowing, there is knowing. Isn't that deep? In the way of knowing, there is what? Knowing. If that statement seems puzzling to you, contemplate it as a meditation. In the way of knowing, there is knowing. In the way of knowing, there is knowing. So the Course teaches that knowledge is absolute certainty. So if you said, in the way of absolute certainty, there is absolute certainty. In the way of certainty, there is certainty. So if you are going and traveling the way of certainty, you won't have any doubts. And you won't have any doubts if you're certain. Deep. And so we just were told, what? That if you were to get up and just be thankful that you have a body that emerged out of consciousness in order to be used to extend love and joy in perfect ways, and you were to say, when you wake up in the morning, how can I extend love now? And how can I experience love now? Then that would be the start. And who in this room is not capable of doing that? We're all capable of doing that. That's how we know the answer is coming from higher power. Because higher power would always ask us to do what we can do and what we're adequate to do and what we want to do. Ego is the only thing that asks you to do something you don't want to do.
Right.
Or not able to do. That's fear. Love never asks you. Love would never want it from where it couldn't naturally come. You know, if I feel the least bit of resistance, I go, hey, back off. That's what you do immediately. When the old ego man said, oh, this is a challenge. Let me see, this is a challenge. This is a challenge right here. They're not interested. That's the challenge. This is a challenge. I want this bad now. See, that's fear. Love would go, okay, well, how do we have the most loving, peaceful connection with each other? That's what we want. However that happens, that's what I want. Because I'm here to be an extension of freedom. And freedom means honoring you.
That's right.
Freeing you is honoring you. Freeing you is listening to you and honoring you.
Blessing.
So someone is not honoring you, they're not loving you.
That's right.
They're not freeing you. And I want you to be completely free because you are very cute. There is no more powerful state of consciousness to act from than what? The state of knowing.
That's
Would you
right.
acknowledge yourself for hearing this much Holy Spirit?
Yeah.
Hello. Self-love. You're such a freaking blessing in my life. Thank you so much. Let's do the financial expression of appreciation right now. Thank you so much for sharing with me on the internet. If you like to share, you can go to my website, earlpurdy.com, and you can make a financial expression of appreciation there. Really appreciate it. I'm a full-time teacher, and all that I have comes only from God, through the channels of God, through the sales of God, and so I thank you so much. And if you want to have a one-on-one session called the Clarity Session, where we bring the truth to your issue or issues, then go to my website and you will see exactly how we can do that. And we can do it also in Skype and over the phone. Would love to work with you with your particular issue, because it's my issue too. Whatever it is you want to talk to me about, I need to hear it as much as you do. So together we can have the holy instant and we can heal. Also, go to my website and sign up for the contact list so I can send you links to these classes that I'm videoing so you can watch them anytime and help remember it. It's the remembering that's important. It's the remembering that's important. Yes, 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 it's the remembering that's important. It's the remembering that's important. Oh, yeah. So, any comments, any questions before we wrap it up tonight? Anybody heard any ahas tonight? Something that they want to keep in mind, so much so that they're willing to say it out loud so that they'll remember it better.
Love is freedom.
Yes, love is freedom.
Self-love, to love myself.
Love yourself. Thank you.
How do I have the most loving and peaceful connection? Ask myself that.
How do I have the most loving and peaceful connection? Perfect. Perfect. Anybody else? Chris?
Yeah, this must be the perfect event for me to be experiencing now. How can I extend love in this moment?
How can I extend love in this moment? Yeah. Yes.
The part about being birthed or living the self, coming from the self.
Yes.
That
Yes.
was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
The fact that our bodies emerged from consciousness for the purpose of being here to extend love and to extend freedom. And that if we saw it that way, then we would start to experience all of the miracles that we. So, love your body. Love your body. Love your body. You know, it's like, take care of your body. Just because it's temporary. Like sometimes people will say stuff like, well, if it's just an illusion, why should you, take care of it? Well, it's because it's an illusion you need to take care of it.
That's right.
Because it's temporary is why you need to take care of it.
That's right.
And
It's
most
like
people don't
evil.
even let themselves even enjoy their bodies. They feel so much guilt. They've learned so much about guilt and sin that they can't even, you can watch some people get really uncomfortable when you make any kind of joke or play or anything loving or playful around the body because of what we learned. It's not because we're naturally that way, it's what we learned. And yeah, they should be saying, this is the perfect experience that I'm having right now. How can I extend love? Right? We want to remember that one. That's the one I want to remember. Oh yeah, and about not being attached. I keep saying, you really want your body to be a conduit of love so that you can have the miracle rather than just the thing I think I want. Anybody else?
Over there on the stairs.
Yeah, baby. What's up?
The thing about, I don't need you to arrange yourself in any way for me to be happy.
I don't need you to arrange yourself in any way for me to be happy. Woo, we can pull that one off. Wouldn't that be incredible?
I know, right?
Wow, that's the big one because it's those scripts that get us every time. I'm telling you. So does that mean that you're supposed to just accept anything that show up?
No.
Nope.
Not be attached to anything.
Interesting question, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Well, for one thing, if I was really seeing correctly, there wouldn't be anybody that would be unacceptable. But until I get to that level of consciousness, then I'm going to go for what's acceptable to me. You know why? Because I'll be in a better state of mind. Like if I'm going to work on becoming more unconditionally loving, well, I'm going to start with at least somebody I'm conditionally loving and not pretend Like you know you don't want somebody that's the hunchback of Notre Dame. You know what I'm saying? But you're trying to be spiritual, so that you are with your hand wrapped around their hump. You know what I'm saying? But you're trying to be like leaning on their hump and leaning on their hump, and you really wish they didn't have a hump. Then you're gonna be all in conflict and everything. Every time you go out, you want to take around your friends. You rock with that humpback cheek. You know what I'm saying? So it would be better so that you don't be always in this period, this experience of pain and anger and upset to, not be with the humpback until you that enlightened. See, your ego will make you do stuff like that. It'll make you choose something that you know you don't want just to try to prove to yourself that you're spiritual. But if you're doing that for that reason, then you're just creating conflict. But if you really are at that stage, you're saying, okay, it's time for humpback love. And then they show up, then you be ready for them. Okay, I'm gonna kiss this hump right here. I'm gonna touch this hump. I'm ready for it.
Love. And
That's
we
right.
talk about whales.
That's right. We ain't talking about whales. But that's the same as saying that you're trying to have a relationship with somebody with any quality that you don't feel comfortable about.
Right,
But you're trying to go ahead and do it anyway. Yes.
Well, that led to the piece that spoke earlier, that love isn't about the form.
That's right.
That's right.
And so what Mia was saying is that element of I don't need anything about you to change doesn't mean that I'm required to stay in a form of a relationship. It means that I can love you and be happy. You may be my boyfriend, you may be my brother, you may be my friend, or you may be my neighbor that I never see again. I don't need you to change. And I think that a lot of times we get stuck in believing that means I will stay in relationship with you at all times, even if you don't change. And that's not what that says.
That's not what it's saying at all, because we confuse form with relationship. We confuse form with relationship.
Right.
I can be in a relationship with you, but the form that we relate can constantly shift.
Exactly.
And I'm still in relationship with you.
That's right.
So the form isn't the relationship.
Right.
And you want whatever form supports your purpose and where you are now.
Exactly.
So you have to be always willing for it to, as a matter of fact, we have to be always willing for it to do what it's going to do anyway.
Right.
Change.
That's right.
Because that's the blessing here.
Right.
Is that things do change.
And it's constant.
And it's constant. You can count on that.
That's the law of physics.
You can count on it. It's going to always change. So people get in relationships and they don't want it to change.
Right.
And if you would allow it to change, it would be more interesting.
Right.
It would be cool. Yeah. All right. Take a breath. We're going to take it into home stretch.
Let's go.
You are love. You are love. And only love. As you come to love, love is your beloved. More and more you have, love is your beloved. You will discover that you are guided on a path of miracles. Will you see yourself in your mind cuddling your beloved love? Ow! As you love as your beloved, you are guided on a path of miracles. Wow! In which more power seems to be getting extended through you. More power seems to be getting extended through you. You will begin to witness that the universe seems to support you. I say you will begin to witness that the universe seems to support you more and 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 more in ways that you never could have imagined. You're going to see your life changing. The car you drive might change. The house you live in might change for the better. The quality of the beings that come into your life. Because you will be unattached to these things. You won't see them as ends in themselves, but merely as the proof that the great wisdom of love that underlies all things is connecting you now to new forms and new contexts, because now love knows that it can flow through you more powerfully, more certainly, more maturely, and more wisely. This is a perfect experience that we're having right now. And how can we extend more love? Thank you for coming tonight, Holy Spirit. You all are cool beings. Cool beings.
You got it.
Hugs are available. I'll tell you. Ask for what you want. You never can tell what might happen. I love you.